Hi, I'm Mr. Manley, the founder of Trailblazer, and this is Daryl, and Daryl is the founder of Smoke Restaurant. So today what you're going to get is a wee bit of education. A lot of people ask, how do you actually use the smoker unit? And there's two issues. One is it's not just a smoker unit, it's a lot more than a smoker unit. And number two, it's very, very easy to use. So what we're going to do today, focusing on this unit, is how to get the best out of it. So first thing you do is when you get your machine off the back of your trailer, you unhook the lighting board. That means you've got full access now to the firebox. Opening up your machine, and this gives you your access to your full smoker unit. What you have down here is your smoker front vent system, which slots off and on. That gives you access to your ash box, access to your removable firebox. One of the beauties of this is what's called a minion maze, and what that means is that this is the equivalent of a firebox that's that long and that wide. And the secret of that is that when you load this, that you load this fully full of briquettes, not lumpwood. You light your first batch of briquettes here, and that will then creep the whole way along, down, and the whole way back. Some people are getting up to 15, 16 hours. Daryl will talk more about that in a minute. You've then got removable trays, and all of these trays come out for ease of cleaning, but also for a situation if you want to do big, large lumps of meat, you can take every one out and work that through, right to the point where you can take them all out and you can hang from the very top one with, like for fish or for sausages and stuff like that, so you're smoking. You can do all that by taking the whole thing out and just have everything hanging. You've got your upper chimney, it's removable. That'll pop out, so if you want to store it, if you're kind of trying to get it inside a building or if you're traveling about on it. And then it all closes up again and you just drive away. So that's the setup of the machine. And I'm now going to hand over to Daryl to just talk you through the whole process.
So first thing I'm going to do is take the deflector plate off and remove the maze. It's a lot easier to load the maze up outside rather than trying to fidget about in around the bottom, so it is. We're going to use briquettes. Trailblazer supply these as well. It's basically like a compressed charcoal. And the way I start off down one end of the maze. The idea is a trickle feeds up along, round the bend, back down the far side. If you're doing overnight cooks, so you're doing pulled pork and stuff, that can be lit as you're leaving. Leave it in there, leave the door shut, and it will literally slow burn the whole way around. Your pork's all good, ready for you when you come back the next day. Your first little bit, you want to sort of put 2 or 3 briquettes in, just a little pile, and that's going to be our starter. So we're going to light here, and the idea is get this nice and hot, and then from there it just trickles along. When you're laying your briquettes in, it's quite specific what you have to do. You need to lay them in so as they're touching each other, and there's no gaps, and you want to lay them on. You'll see it starting to form up. I lay them over normally about halfway. I make sure they're touching side by side. We use natural flamers. You get these on Amazon. So you do it's like a box of 500 for a couple of pounds. I think it's like a tenner or something, so it is. All you got to do is literally take 2 or 3 of these on that first little sort of set that we made. Your maze just slides back in again. You got to leave it out there about there, just make it easy for ourselves. We're going to use hickory chunks today. And all you got to do is lay them in every so often as it cooks down along. It gives you your smoke flavour, your hickory flavour up into your meats. There's no point going any further than that. Generally with meat, after about 4.5 hours, it won't absorb any more smoke. So there's absolutely no point putting them chunks the whole way around. Come to lighting it, these wee things light dead easy. If you just light each one, and that's it. Again, now all I'm going to do is just slide that in. I'm going to take my water pan out. So I'll leave this open like this, what I'm trying to do is get these to catch now. I'm going to put the front deflector back on, let them catch. Once I know if they're caught, then I'll close the door over and let it start coming up in temperature. A couple of things happen in a smoker. Every time you open it, you lose heat.
Yeah.
The difference is not in the oven. When you close it, it's going to take it and come back up again. Yeah. Also, if you're putting cold meat in, all that meat's going to suck all the heat in before the smoker. So don't panic if you're doing, if you're using pork butts or pork net. Brisket, big lumps of cold meat, it's going to go in there and sit. It's going to take probably 25-30 minutes for it to come back up to temperature because your meat's sucking all the heat in, and then it's allowing the smoker to heat back up again and come back up. So you can see now the briquettes are starting to light. We're starting to turn white. So we are, and the flames stand down. 2 most important things: make sure my air vents at the bottom are open and my air vents on top are open. On top, you know it's open. If you look up and you can see on the reflection plate where it's open. Feeling that, you drop your finger. So all the way over to the left's open, all the way over to the right's closed. We're going to cook this probably about 250, 275 we're going to use a smoker at today. So in around the 200 mark, I'm going to start closing vents off. So again, it will allow for a natural continuation, and then it should stop in around 250, 275. Our smoke coming out lovely now. So we know we've got airflow coming through it. So that's not going to go out, that's just going to keep heating up now, so it is. So while the smoker is coming up to temperature, I'm then going to light the grill. For today, we're just going to use the middle section. I'll fill up the middle section, show you sort of how we light that. You get an idea, take 15, 20 minutes before it's ready. But essentially, you're going to create a bit of a mound, hold a well in the middle, a bit like you did in School of Volcano, light that, let it all burn, and then you should be able to spread that out, and then that entire middle section will be ready to cook on. And we'll leave ourselves some dead coals around the edges that we can just tip back in. Realistically on them, you're not on this bar, you're not cooking on this bar when this drops, so you can have your coals here, but you're just flicking in as you go, and then that keeps feeding the fire, and you keep carry on cooking. Again, we use charcoals, Trailblazer charcoal. Charcoal is a really important ingredient. You know, we look at genuinely like any other ingredient that we use in the kitchen. It needs to be good quality. You're looking for something that comes nice big lumps and not small dust and stones and pebbles in it. Trailblazer supply all this anyways. You can actually buy it by a pallet, which is fantastic, so it is. Yeah, it's great. There's no real way, so we're just going to tip the bag up, and then, again, because we're only using the middle section, you're probably using a quarter of a bag of fat. When you get really, really rehearsed on this, you can get 3 or 4 hours easy out of a bag. Nothing fancy, just going to move things around, create a bit of a well in there. And again, you're talking 2 or 3 little flamers, and then you're going to try and build up and over it. And all you're doing is, as the flames goes up, you're giving them somewhere to go. And again, you want to use good charcoal, because then you get them nice big long bits. Never fall into the trap of getting that lighter fluid stuff and spraying it, and it goes everywhere. It's terrible. It taints the food, so it does. You know, it'll ruin your barbecues. It's dangerous. Just little flamers like that, job done. So we just literally put that over. There's airflow where obviously you've got all natural gaps in the charcoal, but you can see how the air can get under and up and out. We're not trying to cave in on top of it. So what now, this will all light, underneath will light, and it'll burn down into itself, and then we just spread that out, and that's what gives us our cooking surface. So we've hit 200, I want to cook at 250, so I do. So now I'm going to start closing my vents down. Wow. First thing I'm going to do is close my bottom vents, and I'm going to close it probably about 3/4 of the way over. So we am. Again, every smoker's different. Everyone does this differently. People like it to stop really quick. People like it to keep going and then bring it down. I generally find closing to about 3/4 of the way over on the bottom, and then I'll close my top over to about halfway. So, and all that's doing is just reducing how quick that air is pulled through. So it does 2 things. One, it holds a lot more smoke in the unit, so I'm getting a lot more smoke around my meat. It's not just up and past it. And 2, it reduces that oxygen to the fire, so it slows down the way it burns. The thing with all burgers is they'll shrink. So again, with these, you know, depending how thick your burger is, it'll start to shrink. So well, and that's just part of it. Yeah, they'll sit in there easily for 2.5 hours, do no damage to them at all. As long as you're keeping that temperature sort of 250, 275 Fahrenheit, it's low enough. Start going above that, you're doing hot and fast smoking then, so you are, which is really good for like the wings, or if you're trying to get stuff rushed through. Again, if you guys are under, so I'm just going to shut that over so it's warm back up again. If you guys are under pressure, in the sense of you filled your bain-maries, it's getting hammered, you're struggling here, get that filled up and get it heat up again. And you know you've 40, 50 burgers in there, but when you need them, you can just lift them out. And we've done that on big events. If we're doing corporate, and you know you're going to have 150 people lined up, we'll have our burgers cooked, our burgers cooking, and our burgers holding. And what it means is if my cooked burgers aren't ready and you need 30 more, I've got them in there. I'll just leave me alone. There's 30 more. That's going to buy me in over 10 minutes. You know, when you're doing big numbers, have that. You know, have something in there. But when you get that panic moment because somebody's let the coals burn, or you were told to put them on, they're not on yet, you've got it. You can just keep that service flowing. I've brought wings down that we've pre-done. So these were smoked yesterday up in the restaurant. Ribs were done yesterday up in the restaurant. Again, if you've got all this set ready and you're looking to feed people, all you have to do is make it hot. You know, which is a lot easier. Then we'll do some raw wings here, and I'll sort of show you if it need to be up and down, and we'll put some in the smoker. Again, you know, you'll see the benefits of that. The one thing I will say about pre-marinated wings, we never really know what the marinade is, so you have to be careful not to burn it, depending on the sort of sugar quantities. So if you're going to grilled wings and smoked wings are 2 different things. So grilled wings, you're going to have a lower sugar content, otherwise the sugar's going to want to burn before you get the chicken cooked. Again, really good point about Trailblazer is having the adjustable height. I mean, you know, you can have it set up high and the wings are starting to cook. You don't cook everything down as low as that is now. You know, that's for cooking burgers. Everything else will get cooked up. When we use ours, we do tomahawks, we do pork belly, salmon, langoustines, spuds, corn, and it's never slammed down. So it's always done quite high. So it is, because you want to use that residual heat. So I'm just going to raise that up a little bit. Again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some of these directly on to the grill, and then we'll do some in the smoker as well. But again, you're just going to set them on. Spread them out. You don't want them sat tight. You want to spread them out and give yourself a bit of room between them. Yeah. Let's bang these into the smoker here. Again, I'm going to put these down quite low because I know we're always going to be hotter towards the bottom. I'll put them over the steam pan. One, try not to mess your smoker up too much. So being directly above that pan is going to do two things. One is going to give me a gentle heat, and two, it's going to steam, so it's going to help cook it. So it is. Where we're at now, guys, you could have all this done, obviously not the grills and the wings, but if you imagine your smoker's filled on a Friday night, your event's on Saturday, it's filled with chicken wings. You take your chicken wings out, you cool them down, you put them in the fridge, you come back in the next day, and that's them, good to go. Two ways to reheat them. Fill your smoker with your wings, and again, they're sitting in their absolute gentle heat, or the other thing is to throw them straight on the coals, or use a mix of both. You know, if you sort of know the crowd we feed, they're not really chicken wing type people. Maybe it's an older crowd don't really eat chicken wings. Younger ones will go for it. So you know, you can judge off. You can have your chicken wings up top, warming back up. You can have burgers in there cooking. Always keep your raw meat below your cooked meat, or you can just go straight on the grill. The really good thing about wings on the grill, they take 2 or 3 minutes. Like, they do not take long. If they're cooked and you get all your burgers done out the way, fill your grill with wings. By the time you've laid them out, filled it up to sort of this side, if you're working left to right, you fill this side, you're going to go back to this side, start flipping them over. By the time you get to the bottom again, they're good to go. So we are. And I would definitely recommend doing wings like that. Ribs, I brought you some ribs down. We do a lot of ribs up in the restaurant. Again, we're going to reheat these back over the coals. I'm sort of waiting until stuff's almost cooked so we can put all this out together. And the boys did actually keep me sausages. So we've got some sausages for you as well. That's how we do it in the restaurant. We have all our ribs sat, pre-done, ready to rock and roll. You come in and order ribs, we cook them over charcoal, so we do. All we're going to do is sort of brush over it. And we're not doing it from the start because it'll burn, because there's a high sugar content. So we're doing it now, but you know, I know once I flip these back over again, they'll be grand. Sausages, same thing. So we smoke all these, we bang them on, and we warm them back up again, so we do. Again, you can have a load of them done. Sausages are great in these hold tons and tons of sausages, because you can put them in, just keep stacking them on top of each other. Does them no harm at all. Absolutely great for sausages. And they heat up really nicely in there as well. So we've got everything in here. An important thing to notice, right? So see your burgers, people look at it and go, oh, that's still raw. It's not. That lovely redness, that's off the smoke. So it is. So, you know, they're more or less good to go. Our chicken's not far off being ready. Our sausages aren't far off. So the sausages, again, they're going to look pale on top, but what I'm feeling for is firmness. So they're quite firm. So they'll not be far off. Again, for you guys, you would have all this sat here, and all you're going to do is lift it out, throw it on the grill, put a bit of colour on it, starting to change colour, and that's just all the juice from the chicken dripping in on top of it. Again, this could all sit in here. You know, no harm, this all been sat in here for a long time. You see what? So again, I'm just throwing these on, stick a wee bit of colour on, because obviously we want quick, fast heat now. And I mean, if you look on there now, there's 2 types of chicken, 3 types of sausage, ribs, burgers. You know, it's an easy enough wee feast. But we're not even using the full grill. Again, we've done a small selection just using the middle part of a Trailblazer and using the smoker heavily. So we've got our smoked ribs, we've smoked them in the smoker, pre-done, come out cold, back in the smoker, on the grill, heat up, brush with sauce, ready to go. 2 types of burger, same 4-ounce burger. One's smoked, one's not smoked. You can actually see a really good example on that nice smoke ring inside, which gives it a nice red colour. Then we've got 2 types of sausage, both grilled. We've got the smokehouse sausage, which is smoked and then grilled, and then we've got our smoked sausages up on the end, again smoked and then just rolled onto the grill, just give a bit of colour. And then we've got our chicken wings smoked and grilled. So we do. Grab a plate, guys, dig in.